liberty, and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you all for being here today. And we do have a quorum, so we'll call this meeting to order. Angie, do we have any citizens' comments? Item number 1, consider and take action on minutes from previously held meeting of Commissioners Court on February 5th, 2019.
Judge, I see a correction that needs to be made on motion by Chuck McCown and seconded by Commissioner Tooley to approve the transfer of the 2010 Ford pickup from the Fire Marshal's Environmental Crimes Office to Road and Bridge. It says number 2, it should be number 3.
Okay.
Well, next week, I guess we'll probably be moving it back to the fire marshal since I saw one of his vehicles being towed off a few minutes ago.
Wasn't repoed, was it? No.
Was it repo? Is that what you said?
It was not repo. It may be a transmission.
You need a pickup truck?
If you got it.
I got a Tahoe.
Oh, any other questions or comments or additions?
Hearing none other, Judge, I move that we accept the minutes as amended for the Commissioners Court regular session of February the 5th.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the minutes as amended. Any further comments? All those in favor? Item passes. Item number 2, consider and take action to accept financial report from Henderson County Emergency Service District number 3, located in Precinct 4.
I've been advised by the audit department that this particular entry should be put on hold because there is some new requirement for an affidavit to be filed with these. I've sent the audit department contact information for the ESDs within Precinct 3, that's 3, 6, and 11, to make sure the format that they want this affidavit is sent out to them so that we can get this done, or they can get it done, I should say.
Right.
So
Okay.
whenever they present, whenever they have approved the affidavit through their board meeting, I suppose they will send it to me, and then I'll amend this agenda request so we can just scratch it.
Okay. Don't they have until June
I believe that is
statutorily, I think?
I believe that is correct.
Okay. Okay, with that, we'll just skip on over and go to item number 3, which is consider and take action on a resolution in opposition of state unfunded mandates. This is an item that we have done biannually, I guess, would be the biennium, approved by this court, urging the state to pass a constitutional amendment opposing unfunded mandates or prohibiting them. Basically what it is, gentlemen, as you see in our resolution, and through the help with the audit office, we've been able to identify roughly $4.4 million worth of expenditures that are mandated by the state. Now, these are many of the items that most individuals will equate with county government, but the issue is that they direct you how to spend it. They have their plans that they put in place and levels to meet, but never apply any funding to help pay for that. The one that always comes to mind for me was 4 years ago when the State Jail Commission came in after we had already passed our budget and hit us with the evaluations of all inmates coming in, which cost us, if you'll remember correctly, $80,000 that we had to find somewhere else after we had already set the budget for that year. those type of issues continually come down. And like I said, we've been able to identify $4.4 million, which is roughly about 16% of our tax rate, which equates to 7.5 cents of the county's tax rate, goes for unfunded mandates. So,
What was that percentage again, Judge?
16.1%.
I know you have some of these numbers for the resolution. I think it'd be beneficial to the people in the audience if you went over some of them.
Be glad to. Appointment of attorneys in criminal cases is $899,078, which basically comes to almost 27% of our general operating budget in the 402 budget. $178,232 for CPS cases. $589,978 to support and maintain state prisoners in county jails awaiting transfers. County support of the state judicial system, $681,000. Support for Texas Community Supervision and Corrections Department, or for us older ones, the Adult Probation Department, $380,000. $73,000, which we had the resolution last week with DPS, $73,000 supporting state functions. And the one that is rising at a faster rate than any of them at this present time is the indigent health care costs, which for this year was almost $700,000, $697,000. There are other items in there as well in that 4.4 that we just did not put into this list because it can be numerous. We wanted to keep it to 2 pages instead of 4 or 5. So it is an issue that we have pushed down from the state. You hear it all the time. Federal government pushes down on the state pushes down on the locals. And it's not just to the county, it's your school districts. It's cities, special districts. There is this push of services down with no money to help support it. And so that in turn puts the weight on the local taxpayers. It is a reality of life that we've become too accustomed to. And when you have an organization that is trying to represent the locals, this is one way we bring attention to what's happening to it. So, comments, discussions?
I think it's interesting to note that when the state of Texas promotes this is a great place for businesses and people to move to, and they tout that Texas ranks 33rd in overall state and local taxation. That sounds pretty good out of 50 states. But what they don't point out is we rank sixth in real estate property taxes. Because most states, if not all of Texas, does not push indigent health care costs down on county government. 16.1% of our budget is for unfunded mandates. Well, let's put that in perspective. That's twice the amount of money that we have in our tax rate to maintain all the roads in Henderson County. Because it's just over 8% that we have to maintain nearly 900 miles of road. That's 1,800 miles of right-of-way. And there's also articles that you may have seen about Senate Bill and House Bill 2 that wants to regulate how much we can raise taxes. And it's pretty important for everyone in this room to understand that we have sincerely held the line on the tax rate, because we haven't raised it in 9 years. We took pretty drastic measures to make sure that we didn't have to raise that tax rate. Well, counties around us and municipalities did so. Now they want to tell us that we could, if we needed to, with these unfunded mandates, we could only raise the tax rate without putting it out for a vote at 2.5%. 2.5%. At the same time, the state is very open of pushing appraisal districts to keep all properties at 100% market value. Keeping them at 100% market value should tell you one thing: that makes your property taxes go up. And who is the largest beneficiary of property taxes in the state of Texas? One entity. It's called the public school system, which the state funds at a lesser percentage every year and pushes that responsibility right on counties and property taxes. With that, I have no other comments, Judge.
Thank you. Anyone else?
How long, Judge, have we been doing the resolution for them? Do you recall how, when we started?
6 years, I believe. This is our third
Six?
time.
Okay.
This is our third time.
I knew we
A
did it
lo-
when I was here before.
And that speaks to the fact that the state pushing down on counties has increased. You know, prior to that, these are all services that were provided previously. You know, it's just the fact that the state is pushing more and more down for locals to do. I'll give one: the state departments and the state commissions are passing responsibility down for enforcement of issues that we have no ability to. Our fire marshal's office is a perfect example. Not only have we seen an increase in our local load, but if you'll look and see, they want us to do safety inspections, more and more requirements, and not putting any funding with it. You know, the fire marshal's office has grown from, in my time on the court, and I hate to say this, it's grown from a one-man department to what now? 4, 5? In that amount of time, just from the state requiring more and more and more. And it's not just that department, it's other departments as well. So,
Well, I was at in Austin a couple of weeks ago, and I sent our message to our state rep, and I think we have a great state rep that is in office that has had 20 years of public schools and unfunded mandates. That knows when we send this resolution to him that he is gonna, fight for us. But I think I encourage all our citizens of Henderson County that we need to contact our Senate rep and our state rep to urge them about the Senate Bill 2 and House Bill 2. So we really need to encourage them to make that effort to send this unfunded mandate resolution and a bunch of phone calls to Austin.
anything else? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Thomas, to approve the resolution in opposition of state unfunded mandates. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Item passes. Item number 4, consider and take action on a contract to purchase voting equipment for Henderson County. And with us today, we have our elections administrator, Ms. Denise Hernandez. Denise, for the audience's information, we've come to the end of the life of our election equipment, and we've known this for a while and have been looking. So if you would please give some background on the topic.
Sure. We've actually been looking into new equipment for the last 2 years, going to many demos with our neighboring counties and having several here in town. We're coming up to 15 years with our equipment, and as you know, technology changes every year. So here lately, in the last few elections, you know, you hear more of things changing in the systems. They don't. We do require 3 LAT testing, which is logic and accuracy testing. But in any case, the older it gets, the more frequent you're going to hear those. So we've been looking into our vendor's newest equipment and then the other competitors' equipment as well. In doing that, we've researched who's certified, who's not certified still. And we've come to the conclusion that the best system for our county would be the ES&S equipment. We've had a workshop last week, and it's made changes to our original quote, but I think we've come down to what it is that we really want and how many we need. The importance of doing it this year is because we do want to get 2 small elections behind us with new equipment before we go into the 2020 elections. And I think that's important for all of us. So,
How many companies, Ms. Hernandez, are certified to
there's
provide?
only 2 with the state currently. And
And-
that's HART, that's our current vendor. And then we have the ES&S vendor, which is, what is that? The Elections Systems and Software Company. They're the only 2 currently.
So, all counties, all 254 counties have a choice of purchasing HART or ES&S equipment.
Yes, sir.
It's the only ones that are certified by the
Yes.
state.
Mhm.
And they also are certified by the federal government.
Yes.
Okay.
The state won't even certify you unless you're federally certified.
Can you list some of the major counties that ES&S
Ooh.
say around the Metroplex and down south?
Okay, well, Smith County uses ES&S, as well as Anderson County. Navarro County uses them as well. I think Hoffman just went with them. So most of our neighboring counties are with ES&S. Also, one of the vendors, ES&S's vendor lives in Navarro County, which is about, 30 minutes from us. So, you know, it's nice to have somebody that close in case you do need them for any upcoming election.
Travis County
Travis County, yes.
and Collin and Tarrant and Dallas?
Mhm.
Commissioner Thomas?
Of course, I went to the workshops and got a chance to view them both, and I agree with you that we've made I think a decision that's the right decision for the county. And I like the way they work. Even I could vote pretty easily using those
That's what we want.
tests. I didn't get too confused.
Commissioner McKee?
Not any, actually.
I'd like to thank Denise and the staff over there for the hard work y'all done and bringing these vendors in to inform and educate all the commissioners and the county judge about the pros and cons of each piece of equipment.
Yes.
And I was impressed with the ES&S.
Now, this system, we're used to the HART system.
Correct.
That is, and we don't, this is not a negative, this is a way we've come to address them as the Fisher-Price machines.
Yes,
Because they are very simplistic in how they work. Now, these machines are a little different. These are a hybrid system. Can you explain some of that?
Sure. It's a 2-part system, as you know. One of the features that I really love about it is that when you're checking in somebody, currently what we do is we give them a label, right? And then they take it over to the person operating the machine that gives them the code to vote. Well, between that step, you have a lot of human error. Now, this system will automatically take our information from our voter roll and where they're actually located, their address, using the address maintenance, and put them in the correct precinct split. So in a scenario like November where we had 65 different ballot styles, right? You always want to make sure that your election worker is giving out the correct ballot style. This is gonna take that human error out of it. It automatically barcodes that little stock paper. And then once it codes it, based on where they're registered in the county, then they just go to the machine themselves, they enter it, and it pulls up the correct ballot. Once they do that, they vote on it. Once they vote on it, it'll reprint it out for them. They can see what they voted for because it's gonna list it. And then they'll take it to a precinct scanner where then they will cast their ballot.
So this brings paper back into the process for an audit, on a truly hard copy auditable trail.
Yes, it's an audit system, audit-based system, because you have a lot of House bills and Senate bills right now that are wanting to do away with direct recording devices. This is a way to uphold the integrity of our elections by letting the voters see what they actually voted on before they scan. So.
Any further questions?
So this paper ballot, as I understand, when a blank card is placed into the machine with the barcode identifying the precinct, the individual of the precinct that they reside in, it's put into the machine, and then after they electronically cast their ballot, it spits out this ballot. And this is on thermal paper, is that correct? And the life of that thermal paper, because I wouldn't want the paper to say it's on thermal paper, because we all go and buy gasoline and we leave it in the truck, and that's thermal paper. And you go and get that receipt a couple months later, and it's just a white piece of paper. The life expectancy of the thermal paper is 10 years plus, is that correct?
I believe he said it was up to 10 to 12 years. Now, keeping that in mind, we only have to keep those documents for 22 months.
Correct. So it's far past what the law requires.
Yes. And it's not flimsy like your receipt paper is.
Correct.
It's more of a thick cardstock thermal. So.
And then the paper ballot, when it's fed into the scanner, and after you've looked at it and you see that's what you voted, you run it through the scanner, and then that ballot goes into a secure tub at the bottom.
If it's a tub that's kept on the bottom of this bin, and at the end of the night, especially on election night, the judges will just open that bottom of the bin. They can seal it and lock it, and then they bring that tub with them. You know, I was never a fan about bringing paper back in, because I hope that our goal will be vote centers. But I think that right now, with everything going on, cyber threats and people thinking that, you know, we all know election equipment is not online. So for me, that's not a fear, because I know that's not happening, right? At least not in our county. You know, I don't know. I worry with what's going on in Henderson County. So I think that this is a good way to let the public know, the county constituents know, that we're trying everything so that they can see we're just trying to do the best for the county. And because our equipment is old, we do want to get new equipment, because, you know, everybody's upgrading at this time. Our equipment currently, if I had to replace something, they're not even manufacturing the parts anymore. So if we have an election like 2020 coming up, and we're still using that equipment, and something goes wrong, where are we going to get the parts to fix it? We're not.
Well, we would have to do what we did a couple of years ago to get those last 2 years of use out of the hard equipment, which was buying some used equipment and having it certified by HART, so we had backup machines.
Yes.
So, you know, just so everyone knows, we have tried our best to get the maximum life out of the equipment that was purchased with some grant funds after the federal government rolled out HAVA, Help America Vote Act, after the Florida election of Bush and Gore and the infamous hanging Chad issue. That's what started all of this, in case some of you are too young to remember. that election.
And also on this ES&S equipment, if we do run into a situation where we've got a lot of people voting in one area, we can take a machine from a slow area and move it to that area, which right now with the HART system, we can't do.
That's correct. Yes, it does not hold code records. It's basically just a tool to enable you to vote, right? So it's the one that's going to print up your ballot afterwards. The only thing that can't be reused is the precinct scanner, because that's what's going to hold your code records. So even our early voting equipment that we utilize, we currently can't reuse it on election day, right? But this you can. So say I have 20 out at all my early voting sites, I can reuse those units on election day if we need it. Or if we have a place that's not getting a good turnout and I'm getting slammed at another precinct, then I can move some of those machines over to the other precinct without having to reset or reprogram. So that's a good thing.
Well, all indications are that we're getting from the state is that the hybrid system is possibly the preferred system. And I believe there was a Senate interim committee that released a report
Yes.
on that, telling it, actually the report said that it was recommending a return to some type of paper balloting.
And that's the only reason we want to choose a system like that.
Right.
So.
Okay. Any further questions? This contract for the public is $637,026.20. No?
No.
I have the wrong one.
No, you have, that's correct, but we have two contracts. The other one is for that ballot on demand.
Right.
So the total would be the $649,851.20.
Thank
It's
you.
gonna be on your little grid sheet.
I'm
Right
on,
at the
I'm on
top.
the contract.
You're fine, you're fine. There's two
got it
contracts
right
in there,
here.
so.
Okay. Any further comments? Questions?
That's 140 machines, 6 curbside machines, and the 1 ballot on demand. With 2
And just to explain, ballot on demand is where we don't have to pre-order a huge amount of ballots for our absentee ballots. We'll be able to print them as we need them. And so that's a good thing, because we ordered 10,000 for the November gubernatorial. We actually only used 3,000, so we have 7,000 blank ballots we have to store for 22 months, and then we burn.
Well, incidentally, since I was around on the original purchase, we spent a little over $550,000 originally to bring in the HART system in '05. And plus, we did supplement it with, 30,000 in additional machines over time?
I think it's really more than that.
Was it?
There was a secondary purchase.
We did like 10 for a couple of years, and then we bought a big purchase of 40. And so, yeah, we've had trouble. We've had it on several.
It's one area where changing out the system, we're actually probably doing dollar for dollar. When
Yes.
If not cheaper.
cheaper due to the,
Considering the additional equipment we bought from Hart over that period of time that we've been using their equipment.
Yeah.
the only,
Because I believe the last purchase, the 40, was 25,000.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was a low number, but it was all the equipment we
Yes.
bought before
Previous.
that.
now,
Yes, you're right.
any further comments? If not, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We need judge's authorization.
Yeah, we need a signature.
Okay.
Mhm.
Implied.
With judge's
Okay.
signature to authorize.
Have a motion by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the contract with ES&S for election equipment with the judge's authorization to sign. Any further comments? If not, all those in favor? Item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Item number 5, consider and take action pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 262.024 to exempt the purchase of an air conditioning cooling tower and related components for the Henderson County Courthouse from the competitive bidding requirements. Gentlemen, we had quite a bit of discussion on this, trying to alleviate our situation that we have over at the courthouse. when I came in January, we immediately began to gather quotes for the replacement of that tower. The system has been out since toward the end of last year. It's not just zone-wise, it's the entire building that is out. We're in a situation where we're at a race against the clock. We were very close to being under the $50,000 bid mark, and just a few thousand over. And we've gotten into this situation that if we do this, we'll be able to get the air conditioning system up and running on the courthouse in good fashion a month sooner, which will have us coming in 1st of April versus the 1st of May. The last few days that we've had, though, have been cooler. The previous days, it was pretty warm over in the courthouse. County attorney, he offices over there, and he can speak to some of that if you want to. But it is a situation where we are in a jam on that building and trying to get moving forward. Be happy to entertain any questions and asking that the court consider this. We'll be happy to answer any questions.
So what's gonna be the total, do you know what the total cost is?
Offhand, the lowest bid is right in the 53,000 range. The high was 62 and the low was 53. County Attorney, would you like to speak to any of the conditions over there?
So, for me, it's a discretionary exemption, and that's the way they're worded. They are discretionary, and one of the criteria to put the public in any sort of health or safety concern.
Well, it's sort of an emergency.
But it's not. It's a different section than the emergency. These are called, in the title of the chapter, these are discretionary exemptions that says by order of the Commissioners Court, the Commissioners Court may grant an exemption to the competitive bidding process if one of these elements are met. And so, in a sense, in my interpretation of that, it's a little bit less than an outright calamity or emergency. There's a separate section for that.
Right, okay. So this is a different section. Okay.
And obviously, we would like to be able to follow the competitive bidding process. We did send out requests for proposals. We have shopped it to try and make sure that we're getting the best price. Obviously, we wish, and I'm speaking for Jennifer now, but we wish that it had come back under the 50,000 and we wouldn't have to consider this exemption. But it didn't. It's right there on the cusp of it. And I think, as Commissioner McKinney pointed out, the department head in that building, I think you're going to have issues if we try to push this to midsummer to fix the air conditioning.
I would agree.
And not just with my office, but you've got a district judge in the building that expressed concerns about jurors and jury service. We have employees that work in the basement. That is a basement that has no windows, no ventilation, no ceiling fans, no anything. It's even last week with it being 70-something degrees, when I came in, I've got employees with all the windows open and the fans blowing, and you can add an easy 10 degrees to whatever the temperature is outside.
Well, there really isn't any windows that would create ventilation for District Judge Moore's courtroom. So, considering the amount of people that would be in there, the temperature, if it's 70 degrees outside, it's going to soar in that courtroom if we're talking May timeframe before this can be completed, May, June. I guess that was...
The clerk's office up there also on the upper floor.
Exactly.
On that same floor that has a lot of foot traffic from the public coming in for records, passports, and things of that nature.
When was the last time this had any kind of major?
15, 16 years ago was the last time that this unit was replaced. What we had was that this unit, over time, exposed to the elements on top of the roof, takes crane to set it up on the roof, and plus the tubes on the inside of the actual cooling tubes run with chemicals, and there is over time a wearing of those. In this bid, we have, we probably could have come in lower than this if we had not demanded the stainless steel structure, so that we do not have these issues again. Not only the structure of the tower itself, but the cooling tubes inside the tower. So that this is an issue that we have to, hopefully, we do not have to deal with in the future, but we can get 20, 30 years out of the unit.
And I was hoping you would point that out, because there's also a scheduling issue when we bring in the crane that is normally done on the weekend when there's less traffic or parking around the courthouse.
Yes, sir.
So a contractor selected has to always be willing to schedule the crane, bring it in on the weekend, and do that as weekend work.
And all three proposals did have that as a part of their turnkey operation.
Good to know.
Maintenance is actually putting the system together. You know, we're trying to hold costs down every fashion we can. This is for the procurement of the tower and the cooling tubes and the placement on the building alone. Maintenance is going to take over from there.
Time frame to get that done?
With approval of what we have here today, we're hoping by April 1st.
Right.
And if they actually have a tower in stock, we can get it quicker than that. The issue is it takes a month to build a tower.
Yep.
And then they will not schedule the crane until they have the tower in hand. So that's what pushes us out for the 6 weeks with this action. If not, it's 2.5 months, possibly 3.
And it's gonna get hot in April in Texas.
Yes, sir. This is not something that we wanted to do. We tried every way in the world to make this happen, but I see no other option at this time. Any further comments? If not, entertain a motion.
So moved.
And I second this motion.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Thomas, to approve the exemption in accordance with Texas Local Government Code 262.04 for the purchase of air conditioning cooling tower and related components. Any other comments? If not, all those in favor? Item passes. Thank you, court. We have item 6, which is a public hearing, which was scheduled to start at 9:15. It is now 9:39, and we'll be moving into public hearing at this time. If there's anyone that wishes to, I'll read it off, to discuss the determination of a speed limit on County Road 4504 located in Precinct 4. Is there anyone that wishes to speak to this item from the public? You may speak for or against, or tell us what you believe in it. Again, anyone wishing to speak?
Going once.
If not, entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Tooley to close public hearing. All those in favor? Item 7, consider and take action to set a speed limit on County Road 4504 located in Precinct 4. Commissioner Giesland?
Yes, this particular county road is off of US 175 east. Has a total length of 0.32 miles. It's dead end, no outlet road. Some of the constituents on that road have requested speed limit be set at 30 miles an hour. Some children, school buses travel that particular road. We had no issues at the precinct in doing so. I can see by the huge turnout today from the public, they wasn't too concerned about it either. So with no further ado, unless there's questions from the court,
The actual speed limit,
30 miles an hour.
30 miles an hour.
30 mile an hour is the lowest we can set without a traffic study.
Any questions for Commissioner Giesland?
Hearing none, Judge, I move that we set the speed limit on County Road 4504 at 30 mile an hour.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Geisling, second by Commissioner McCam to set a speed limit of 30 miles an hour for County Road 4504. Any further comments? If not, all those in favor? Item passes. Item 8, receive financial reports. Michael. Thank you, sir. We have financial reports for JP2, JP2, JP3, and JP4. I remind everyone that these are available for viewing after court in the county clerk's office. Item 9, consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheet. Ms. Harris?
We do have payroll totals for bi-weekly 3.
Questions, comments? If not, entertain a motion.
So moved.
Thank you, Scotty.
A second.
Motion by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Thomas to approve the payroll distributions. Any further comment? If not, all those in favor? Item passes.
We
Yes.
also have the account balance sheets for January.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, on that $20 return check, are those people sent a letter stating that they can no longer write checks at the precinct?
No, they're not.
Does the commissioners do that, or how do we?
We actually will send them, they have to bring us cash when that happens back into our office.
Right.
But we don't send them any kind of notification that we get to wherever the check is actually received, which is in your precinct, that would be your option to do that. Now, with our depository bank, we're not charged any charge for those return checks like that, so.
So y'all just get the $20 and move on?
So what you're saying is it's up to the location if they wish to.
I would think so, unless the county attorney's office wants to submit some type of letters or form.
We also do not charge them,
Right.
if they not get by those things.
Normally, those checks are actually, we get those funds for those. If not, we do turn them over to the county attorney's office, and then they take care of it from there.
What kind of legal obligation can we say, tell them that they can no longer write checks to the county?
Sure, I think you can set that as a policy if you want, but I think you have to look at that and weigh it, and checks are a form of legal tender. And I think that's kind of what you have to weigh is, how would you do it, how would you keep track of it? You do it blanket as a no-check policy, if certain businesses come. That's up to you guys. My personal thoughts or opinions is, I don't know that I would go that far. I know that as you guys know, hot check numbers have been dwindling. And that's because a lot of businesses and merchants no longer accept checks. That's because a lot of vendors or merchants treat checks as a debit transaction. You go to Walmart, you don't even have to fill your check out, you hand it to them, scan it, and they'll hand it back to you. That's actually a debit, it's not a hot check. Dollar stores use that same technology, and a lot of the other stores that used to generate hot checks for us no longer. I go through all that to say that the county's not one of those. And so we still generate some hot checks, and we still have good success at collecting on those hot checks when they come to our office, and of course, we do collect a fee. The other thing you can do is just start collecting the statutory fee. That is by statute that allows any merchant that receives a hot check to add on any cost or the collection of that hot check. Whether it comes through my office or not, you could just do that. And so that would probably be my preference is we continue to take checks, we continue to operate, and we trust those as write hot checks for the county by enforcing on the collection side.
Michael, how many do we?
I was fixing to say that actually, really with the precincts, we just don't see that many, very seldom. It's probably more in the district clerk and your county clerk's office that we see most of those that come through like that. So we've never really had a problem with precincts.
I've had one in 8 years.
I was just gonna add, in the district clerks, your clerk's offices, and believe it or not, your tax office. So that's the ones that we probably see some hot checks come from, would be the, in addition to the clerks, would be your tax office.
No further.
Any further questions or comments?
No, Judge, I think everything's in order. I move that we accept the treasurer's cash sheets for January 2019 as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCam to accept the treasurer's cash receipts report for period ending January 2019. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Item passes. Item 10, consider and take action on submitted contracts.
I have no contract, sir.
Thank you. Item 11, consider and take action on requests for right-of-way permits.
Yes, sir.
Item 12, consider and take action on submitted budget amendments.
I do have those this week, and these are all for the road and bridge, mostly for lateral road and then clean up sanitation that ran a little short this time.
Comments, questions? Entertain a motion.
Sanitation wasn't too bad, though, in relationship to past years. It's a lot better.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner Thomas to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any further comments? If not, all those in favor? Item passes. Item 13, consider and take action on payment of bills.
Okay, so I did have another change this morning that I hope is my last, this week, but, on, fiscal year 18 bills, I lowered that amount. There was a bill in there that was actually for 2019, so the new total for 2018 is $2,923.50.
Questions?
No questions, Judge.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Thomas to approve the amended amount of, what was that, 2,000? $923.50. Any further comments? If not, all those in favor? Item passes.
Okay, so that change also changed my 2019 total, just moving it over there to $212,608.93.
Commissioner Thomas, any questions?
No, I have no questions this morning, Judge.
Commissioner Tooley?
I had mine answered before court.
Commissioner McCam?
No question.
Commissioner Giesland?
Golly gee. Guys are so fast this morning, I can't keep up. Kevin, a little better this month. Down from 19,000, only 17,665 for the water at the jail. Let's see, there's something here for the judge. Let's see, where is it? You're really doing well, Judge.
Hoping for more rain.
You were less than $100 on the sprinklers, the St. Augustine sprinklers. Good job. I think that is a record for the last 4 or 5 years. So, I don't know. What did you put in? A rainfall sensor?
Actually got a gauge out.
Hey, well, you know, this is great stuff. That will help us. maybe we can put up some of those rainwater barrels and send that over to the sheriff's department.
Well, we've got the crane, we should set them up on the
That's
building.
a
shouldn't
great plan. Maybe we can get a 2-for-1 deal going there. No further questions.
we? Thank you.
Thank you for controlling that sprinkler system.
Any further comments? If not, entertain a motion.
So moved.
I second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCam to approve the 2019 bills in the amended amount of $212,608.93. All those in favor? Item passes. Item 14, consider and take action on submitted plats. No plats. Item 15, open and consider bids.
Plats, no bids.
Once we get everything signed up for the audience, we'll be moving into executive session, of which we'll convene over in the conference room. And while we're doing this, we'll be posting that we will not be having Commissioners Court next week due to educational responsibilities. We have a conference that many of the court will be attending.
How about the resolution? We signed it?
Need the original resolution too, please, ma'am, if you wouldn't. Item 16, convene into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074 regarding personnel matters to consider and discuss the candidates for a human resource position.
So moved, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Giesland to move into executive session. Although it didn't give a time, we'll go straight in. You don't want to go with straight in, or you
5
can do
minutes. 10 o'clock.
move into executive session at 10 o'clock. Any further comments? If not, all those in favor? Thank you. And Okay, it is 10:32, and item 17 is reconvene into open session. We have a motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion by Commissioner Geisling, second by Commissioner McCam, to move back, to close executive session and move back into regular. All those in favor? Passes. Consider and take action on hiring Human Resources Director. Gentlemen, and for those still with us, we have been on the look for an HR director for several weeks now. It was created during the budget of the past summer, and we had many candidates. How many total did we have
11.
applications?
11.
11 of them. And of course, we spent the last executive session about 2 hours interviewing five of the applicants, all of which were very knowledgeable, by the way. Any comments any of you would like to make? Considering the process or anything to offer? If not, we are at the point where we're to take an action. And what action does the court wish to take? I will say that as far as my thoughts on it are is that there was a particular candidate that I kept coming back to again and again in the thought process, and that was Ms. Beavers. That is who I thought was especially suitable to the circumstances that we have, starting a new department from the ground up.
Is it with an S or just an R?
I'll have to pull it up.
What's that?
Her last name, is it
B-E-V-E-R.
Beaver, sorry.
Well, with that said, I'll move that we authorize the judge to extend an offer to Haley Beaver for the HR position.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Geisling, second by Commissioner Tooley to extend an offer of employment to Ms. Haley Beaver for the HR position. Any further comment or discussions? If not, entertain a motion.
We already got
I
I'm
already
sorry,
did that.
I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Thank
Opposed?
goodness.
Passes 4-1. Item 18, consider and take action to adjourn.
So moved.
Second motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam to adjourn. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank y'all so much, and thank y'all for hanging with us back there on the back row.